So Suta Goswami or Jiva Goswami, they don't make any such distinction. So the Lord's umbrella is described as Vaikuntha because it protects the living entities from all the miseries. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that when a person experiences fearlessness in the material world, it is an effect of this umbrella of the Lord. That means because of the Vaikuntha consciousness. So the Vaikuntha, the description of Vaikuntha mentioned in the shloka, it appears that it is within the material world. Because it is said that Atapatram to Vaikuntham. The umbrella. The Lord's umbrella is a spiritual abode where there is no fear, because the whole description, this verse comes in the section where there is the description of the Lord's form in the material world. So it appears that the Vaikuntha which is described in the shloka, it appears within the material world. This is also understood from another shloka, because the whole section starts with a question asked by Shaunaka Rishi to Suta Goswami. Shaunaka Rishi asked Suta Goswami about the process of Kriya Yoga. Tantrika Paricharyayam Kevalasya Shriyapatehe Angopanga Yuda Kalpam Kalpayanti Yatachayaihi Tanno Varnaya Bhadram Te Kriya Yogam Bubutsatam Yena Kriya Naipunena Martyo Yavad Amartyatam. May auspiciousness attend you. Bhadram Te. Let there be auspiciousness. We are eager to know the process of Kriya Yoga. By mastering the Kriya Yoga, a mortal living being can attain immortality. So please explain to us in what manner the tantrics meditate in the course of worship on the limbs, associates, weapons, and the ornaments of the Lord, who is the husband of goddess of fortune and the absolute consciousness. Please tell us also of what elements they conceive all of these to be constituted. So Kriya Yoga refers to deity worship. Shaunaka Rishi wants to know how the devotees meditate on the limbs, ornaments, weapons of the Supreme Lord of the deity in relation to the material elements. So in response to this question, Suta Goswami gives a description of the Lord's form in the material world. So the umbrella mentioned in the verse under the description refers to one that is used in the deity worship of Sri Vishnu. And Jiva Goswami mentions in his Krama Sandarbha that the Vaikuntha referred to here, referred in this shloka, is situated above the Brahma Loka, within the material world. So this is the embassy of Vaikuntha within the material world, which is situated above the Brahma Loka. What is this Vaikuntha? So there is a Manvantara Avatara called as, his name is also called as Vaikuntha. This Manvantara Avatara Vaikuntha was born to Shubhru and Vikunta. Shubhru is the name of the Rishi. Vikunta is the wife of that sage. So Shubhru and Vikunta, from their union, the Lord appeared as Vaikuntha, along with the Devatas who are also known as Vaikunthas. And when the Lord appeared as Vaikuntha, he was requested. Whenever the Lord appears, Lakshmi also appears in an appropriate form. So when he was requested by Rama Devi, the Lord, in order to please Rama Devi, manifested a planet called as Vaikuntha, which is revered by all the worlds. So this Vaikuntha was manifested during the reign of Raivata Manu. During the reign of Raivata Manu. First Swayambhuva Manu, Swarochisha Manu, Uttama, Raivata, Tamasa. Raivata is, I think, the fourth Manu. Uttama, Raivata, Tamasa, and then Chakshusha Manvantara, and then Vaivasvata Manvantara. So this is a Vaikuntha manifested by the avatar of the Lord called as Vaikuntha for pleasing Ramadevi. So this Vaikuntha is situated above the Brahmaloka. This Vaikuntha is called as the umbrella in this shloka, which protects the living entities from the suffering. So because it is situated above the Brahmaloka, because it is situated above the Brahmaloka, it is the umbrella. So therefore, the second characteristic, that is Prapancha Atitatva, that which is transcendental to the material cosmos, that characteristic is indicated through the word umbrella, because it is situated above even the Brahmaloka, topmost planet in the universe. And the third characteristic, that nobody can fall from the Vaikuntha, that is indicated by the word Akutobhayam. It is a place where there is no freedom, where there is freedom from fear. This is the 64th anuccheda. Is it clear?
Yes, Prabhu.
So let us go to 65th anuccheda. Nairgunya prapyatvam. This is the fourth characteristics of Vaikuntha. Nairgunya prapyatvam. That means what? Vaikuntha is attained by those people who are situated in a state beyond the three modes of nature. So there is a shloka from the Uddhava Gita. Sattve pralina swaryanti naralokam rajolayah tamolayastu nirayam yanti mameva nirgunah. Sattve pralina, those who are situated in Sattva Guna, they go to Swaryanti, Swargaloka. Naralokam rajolaya, those who are situated in Rajoguna, they take birth among the society of human beings, Naralokam. Tamolayastu nirayam, those who are in Tamoguna, they go to hellish planets. Mameva nirgunaha, those who are beyond the three modes of nature, they attain me. So, loka prasaktir mallokam iti vaktavye tat praptir nama mat praptireva iti swa abedam abhipretyaha mameva iti. So you see in the shloka, Swaryanti, Swar refers to Swarga Loka. Swarga Loka, Nara Loka, and Nirayam, that is the Naraka Loka. So similarly, he should have used Vaikuntha Loka like that. He should have used. Those who are situated in above the three gunas, they will attain my Loka. Mal Loka he should have used. But instead of using Mal Loka, Krishna is saying that Mameva, they attain me. So by that, Krishna is indicating that there is no difference between myself and the Vaikuntha. There is no, that means Vaikuntha has the same nature as me. He says this considering himself non-different from his abode, which means to attain his abode is to attain him. So basically this shloka explains about the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna also speaks a similar verse. Urdvam gachanti sattvasta madhye tishtanti rajasa jaganya gunavrittista ado gachanti tamasa. only he talks about the destination of people in Sattva Guna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna. In this Uddhava Gita, he is adding one more point. Those who are situated beyond the three gunas, they attain me. So Sridhar Swami comments here that the Lord refers to the influence of the guna that is an ascendance over the other two. That means whoever is predominantly in Sattva Guna, whoever is predominantly in Rajoguna, what they will attain. So definitely nobody will be, every Sattva Guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna will be intermixed with the other gunas, but those who are predominantly in Sattva, Rajoguna, Tamoguna, what do they attain? So another thing you see, the word Leena, Pralina, or Rajo Laya, Tamo Laya. The word Leena or Laya is used for the three things, Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna. But it is not used for the Nirguna. So what does it mean? Although the word Leena or Laya is used to qualify those who pass away in each of those gunas, but Leena or Laya is not used as a qualifier for those who leave their body in the Nirgunya Avastha. So that is an observation. What is the implication of this? So Nirguna means those devotees whose self is completely offered to Bhagavan, without any separate self sense remaining. So such a person comes under the influence of Lord's internal energy. Lord's internal energy descends in such a person and makes such a devotee, such a living entity who completely offers himself to Bhagavan, makes such a person of the same nature as Bhagavan, that is Nirguna. So that means such devotees, even while living in this world, they are already liberated. They are in the stage beyond the three gunas. So therefore, they attain the Lord in this very life. Therefore, they are called as Jivan Muktaha. Jivan Muktaha means living liberated souls. Jivan means the present tense, living. Jivan Muktaha, living liberated souls. Iha yasya harerdasya karmana manasa gira nikilasya pyavastasu Jivan Muktasa uchyate. Those who have engaged their body, mind and words in the service of Krishna, even while living in this world, they are considered to be liberated. So they surely reach the abode of the Lord after giving up the body. Because they already liberated here, and they will definitely, Mam Yeva, they will definitely reach the abode of the Lord. The surety is mentioned, Mam Yeva, they attain me alone. In this way, the fifth characteristic is mentioned here. Nairgunya Prapyatvam. There any question? We'll go to the next anuccheda. So we'll go to the 66th. Sutaram Nairgunya Ashrayatvam. Sutaram Nairgunya Ashrayatvam. So that means previous was that Nairgunya Prapyatvam. Now it is Nairgunya Ashrayatvam. Nairgunya Ashrayatvam means the Vaikuntha is the shelter of the Nirguna state. Because Vaikuntha is attained only by those people who are beyond the three gunas, therefore Vaikuntha is the shelter of the Nairgunya Ashrayatvam. It is the shelter of the Nirguna state. So again a shloka from the Uddhava Gita is mentioned. Vanam tu satviko vaso gramo rajasa uchyate tamasam dyuta sadanam manniketam tu nirgunam. A forest is in Sattvaguna and Vanam tu satviko vaso gramo rajasa uchyate. So gramo here refers to city. city is in Rajoguna. Tamasam Juta Sadanam. Tamasam Juta Sadanam, the place of gambling, that is in Tamoguna. Man Niketam to Nirgunam. Man Niketana means my abode. That means my temple. My abode is in Nirgunam. It is in a state beyond the three gunas. So the previous anuccheda was that those who are in Nirguna state, they attain vaikuntha. So this anuccheda talks about vaikuntha is made of Nirguna. It is a shelter of Nirgunya nature. So tada aveshena eva asyapi nirgunatva vyapadesha iti bhava. The import is that the temple is referred to as Nirguna only because of the Lord's presence within the building. Tad aveshena eva asyapi nirgunatva vyapadesha iti bhava. So Krishna, so Niketa means a temple. So Jiva Goswami says in his commentary, Kintu Bhagavat Sambandha Mahatmyena Niketasyapi Nirgunatvam Bhavet. Because of the presence of the Lord, the structure of the temple, which is made of cement, stones, and different wood and different things, that becomes nirguna, that becomes transcendental. Sparshamani nyayena, just like an iron touched by a chintamani stone becomes gold. Similarly, a structure made of cement, stones, etc., because of the presence of the Lord, it comes a state of Nirgunya Avastha. Sparshamani nyayena tadrishatvam tu tadrisha bhakti chakshurbir eva upalabdhavyam. So that means only devotees who are fully conscious of the Lord and devoted to Him the implication is that while residing in the temple, devotees who are fully conscious of the Lord, the most people, those devotees who are actually devoted to the Lord, they can see the temple in the state of being nirguna.
Those who are sorry to interrupt. So these Jivan Muktas, they meditate on the personal form of the Lord, or they can be Brahmanandi or whatever. I mean, they can be.
Yeah, they can be they can be focused on the impersonal Brahman also. Jivan Mukta, the Rupa Goswami has described in terms of those who are dedicated their body, mind, and words, the service of the personal form. But there can be impersonalists who may also be Jivan Muktas. So Niketa means a temple. Temple is free from the gunas because of the presence of the Lord. So it naturally follows that wherever Bhagavan has appeared, such as Vrindavan, Dwaraka, etc., they are also Nirguna. What then can be said of if the places in this world, Vrindavan, Mathura, Dwaraka, Srirangam, Jagannath Puri, they are also Nirguna, then what then can be said of the Vaikuntha, where he eternally resides in his original form? Also, the implication is that while residing in the temple, devotees who are fully conscious of the Lord and devoted to Him, they also remain free from the material gunas. And Kramasandarbha Jiva Goswami adds one more point that most people do not see the temple as transcendental because they lack the eye of devotion. So this is the fifth characteristics of Vaikuntha. That is Sutaram Nairgunya
They lack the
Ashrayatvam.
idea of what did you say,
Prabhuji? Devotion.
Okay.
So this is the fifth characteristic, that Vaikuntha is made of Vaikuntha is the shelter of Nirgunya Avastha, the state beyond the three modes of nature. And then the sixth characteristic, Prakritehe Paratvam. Sayeva Prakritehe Paratvam. That means transcendental to the material nature. The second characteristics was that Prapancha Atitatva. It is situated in a place beyond the material world. Prapancha Atitatva. But here Prakritehe Paratva means transcendental to the material nature. So there is a shloka from the 10th canto, 88th chapter. Tato Vaikunta Magamad Bhaswaram Tamasapparam Yatra Narayana Sakshan Nyasinam Paramagatihi Shantanam Nyasta Dandanam Yato Navartate Gataha. So this shloka comes in the story of Vrikasura. There was a demon Vrikasura who was performing severe austerities to please Lord Shiva. He was even cutting off his limbs and putting in the Yajna Kunda to please Lord Shiva. But Lord Shiva was not appearing only. Finally, he was about to cut off his head and then put it in the Yajna Kunda. But at that time, Lord Shiva appeared. And then he asked a benediction, whosoever head I may touch with my hand, that person should be burned to ashes. So Lord Shiva gave the benediction. And then Vrikasura wanted to test the benediction by placing his hand on Lord Shiva in the hope of enjoying Parvati. So then Lord Shiva started fleeing to all the places. Vrikasura was following behind. Then finally Lord Shiva reached Vaikuntha. So that description of Vaikuntha is given in the shloka. Tato Vaikuntha Magamat Bhaswaram Tamasaparam. The word Tamasaparam is the most important word in connection to this anuccheda, Prakrite Paratvam. Bhaswaram means effulgent. Tamasaparam means beyond the Tamasa refers to Tamoguna. So one may say it is beyond Tamoguna. So always in this world, any of the gunas, Sattva Guna, Rajoguna and Tamoguna, they always exist together. No guna is existing separately. So beyond Tamoguna means it is beyond all the three gunas. That is what the implication here is. Because the term beyond the guna of ignorance means beyond all three gunas. Since the complete absence of any one guna implies the complete absence of all three. So Lord Shiva attained that abode of Vaikuntha, which is beyond all the three gunas. Yatra Narayana Sakshan Nyasinam Paramagati, where Lord Narayan resides, and who is the highest goal of all the sannyasis. Shantanam, who is the highest goal, that abode is the destination of the renunciants who are established in peace, Shantaha, and who have given up all violence towards all other beings, Nyasta Dandana. And Yata Na Avartate Gataha. Again it is mentioned, having attained that Vaikuntha, one does not return. So Lord Shiva attained that abode. So here this shloka is quoted in order to explain the sixth characteristic, that is Prakritehe Paratvam. So the key word in the shloka is that Tamasa Param. Is it clear?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So now let us go to the next anuccheda. Now the next anuccheda is the seventh characteristics of Vaikuntha, that is Nityatvam. So the shloka which is quoted is from the second canto, 5th chapter. Brahmaji is speaking to Narada Muni. Grivayam jana lokosya tapo lokastanadvayat murdabis satya lokastu brahmalokas sanatanaha. Tikacha Brahmaloko Vaikuntakyah Satu Sanatano Nityah. So in this particular shloka comes in the section Brahma is explaining the process of meditating on the various planets as the limb of the Lord's body. So Janaloka is located on the neck of the Lord. Tapaloka is on his breast. Satyaloka is on his head. And then Brahmaloka is mentioned as eternal. Here Brahmaloka here refers to Vaikuntha. And thus Vaikuntha is mentioned as eternal. Natu Srijya Prapancha Antarvartiyatvartaha. That means Vaikuntha is not one of the created world. It is not part of the created material universe. This is the 67th anuccheda. Brahmabhuto Loka Brahmabhutah Brahmalokah Sri Brahma Naradam. So Brahmabhuto Loko Brahmaloka. Brahmabhuto Loka means this planet is of the nature of Brahmabhuta. Is of the nature of Brahman. That is known as Brahmaloka. So in the purport, there is also one more verse quoted from the Padma Puran, Uttarakhanda, where Lord Shiva is describing to Parvati about the Vaikuntha. I'll read that verse from the purport. Yevam prakrita rupaya vibhute rupamuttamam tripad vibhuti rupam tu shunubhudara nandini pradanaparamavhyomnor antare virajanadi vedangasveda janita toyai prasravita shubha tasya pare paravyomni tripad bhutam sanatanam amritam shashvatam nityam anantam param padam shuddha sattvamayam divyam aksharam brahmana padam. So somebody can read this translation. Lord Shiva confirms this while speaking to Parvati.
In this way, O daughter of Himalaya, I have explained the most splendid opulence of material nature. Now listen to the wonderful opulences of the supra-mundane region. Between the unmanifest material nature pradhana and the spiritual sky exists the Viraja river, the auspicious current of water generated from the perspiration of the Vedas personified. Beyond this is the spiritual sky called Tripada Vibhuti, which is eternal. It is supreme, immortal, unchanging, unlimited, and never diminishes. This divine abode of the Lord is unfathomable and exists in the state of unalloyed being, Shuddha Sattva. Uttarakhand 6.227.58 to 60.
This is another reference. Here also you see the word Sanatanam is that. Tripad Bhutam Sanatanam. Tripad Vibhuti is eternal. It is supreme, immortal, unchanging, unlimited, and never diminishes. So many adjectives. Amritam, Shashvatam, Nityam, Anantam, Parampadam. This is the 7 characteristics are over. The 8th characteristic. Eighth characteristics of Vaikuntha is that Moksha Sukha Tiraskari Bhaktyeka Labhyatvam. So it can be attained Bhaktya Eka Labhyatvam. It can be attained only by Bhakti. Which kind of Bhakti? Moksha Sukha Tiraskari. Vaikuntha can be attained only by that Bhakti by which a person considers even the moksha sukha to be insignificant. or the bhakti which belittles the bliss of liberation. Only by such a bhakti a person can attain vaikuntha. So now two shlokas are quoted from the third canto, 15th chapter, spoken by Brahma to the Devatas. The third canto, 15th chapter, Brahma gives a description of vaikuntha. At the time of the birth of Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, there was a universal power cut. So there was everything was in darkness. At that time, the Devatas became bewildered and they approached Brahma, and Brahma described the reason for such an event. He describes the whole event of Jaya Vijay getting cursed with the four Kumaras. In the course of that, he gives a description of Vaikuntha. Having described Vaikuntha, he speaks two shlokas. This is 3.15.23 and 25. In these two shlokas, Brahma explains that who cannot attain Vaikuntha and who can go to Vaikuntha. Yanna vrajantyaгаbido rachananuvadad shunvanti yenya vishaya kukata matigni yastu shruta hatabagair nribiratta saras tamstan shipant asharaneshu tamassu hanta yaccha vrajantyanimiša mrishabhanuvritya दूरे यमा ह्युपरिन स्पृहणीय शीला भर्तुर्मित सुयशस कथनानुराग वैक्लव्य बाष्पकलया पुलकीकृतांगा. So you see the first shloka starts with yan na vrajanti. The second shloka starts with yacha vrajanti. That means yan na vrajati means they do not go. Yacha vrajanti means those who go there. Yan na vrajanti. Who are the people who don't go there? Those who anya vishayaha kukata matignihi. Yanna vrajantyagabido rachananuvada shrinvanti ye anya vishayaha kukata matignihi yastu shruta hatabagair nribir atta saras tamstan kshipant asharaneshu tamassu hanta. So those who listen to the worthless topic, asara means worthless topics, matigni, which destroy the intelligence. Mati means intelligence, matigni means destroy the intelligence. So kukata can refer to worthless topics, and these topics anya vishaya, they concern matters other than anya vishaya, they concern matters other than what? Agabido rachananuvada. Agabit here refers to the Supreme Lord. They concern matters other than the description of the Agabido rachananuvada, descriptions of the divine leelas of the Lord. And what is the nature of such descriptions? Agabit. Agabit means which it destroys all the sins. So those people who are interested in topics other than the divine leelas of the Lord, which destroys all sins, such people yet na vrajanti, they do not enter Vaikuntha. And instead, they do not enter Vaikuntha. And instead, what do they attain? Yastu shruta. These other topics, yastu shruta, these other topics other than the pastimes of the Lord, when they are heard by people, hata bagair means those people who are unfortunate. When these other topics, when they are heard by unfortunate people, what does it do? Nribir Attasaras. Nribir Attasaras. These topics rob them of their essence. These topics rob them of their essence. Nribir Attasara, and then Tamstan Shipanti Asharaneshu Tamassu Hanta. And because of hearing these topics cast them, throws them into the regions of darkness, Tamassu, where Asharaneshu, where there is no shelter. Shipanti means it throws them. Hearing these topics throws them into the Tamassu, Tamoguna place, which is without any shelter, Asharaneshu. So in this way, this shloka describes those people who do not go to Vaikuntha, who cannot go to Vaikuntha. That means those who are not interested in hearing Krishna Katha cannot go to Vaikuntha. And they go to the Tamoguna place filled with Tamoguna, where there is no shelter. And then the next shloka, Yacha Vrajanti Animisham Rishabhanu Vritya. So reaching that abode which is situated beyond us. Reaching that abode which is situated beyond us are those people who are beyond the jurisdiction of Yama. Dure Yama. Dure Yama. Yama refers to Yamaraj. That means those people who reach Vaikuntha, they are beyond the jurisdiction of Yamaraj. They are beyond the jurisdiction of Yamaraj because of, by virtue of their service to the foremost of all the gods. Animisha Rishabhanu Vritya. Animisha Rishabhanu Vritya. Animisha refers to the Lord Vishnu, one who does not blink his eyes. Rishabha Animisha. Animisha can refer to the Devatas also in general. And Animisha Rishabha means the best among the Devatas. The best among the Devas, that is the Supreme Lord Vishnu. Animisha Rishabhanu Vritya means by service to the foremost of all the gods. By service to the foremost of all the gods, Dure Yama, these devotees have gone beyond the jurisdiction of Yamaraj. And these people, they attain Vaikuntha. They attain Vaikuntha. And Sprihaniya Sheela, the behavior of such devotees, we aspire for such a behavior. Sprihaniya Sheela, their behavior is to be aspired for. Bartur Mita Suyashasa Katananuraga Vaiklavya Bashpa Kalaya Pulaki Kritanga. So their eyes are filled with the tears of love, and their bodies thrill as together they relish the exploits of the glorious Lord. Pulaki Kritanga means there are goosebumps on their body. Bashpa Kalaya. Bashpa means tears. When they hear the topics of the Lord, they shed tears in their eyes filled with the tears of love. Katananu Raga Vaiklavya Bashpa Kalaya. When they hear the topics of the fame of the Lord, Su Yashasa Bartur Mita. So they are filled with the tears in their eyes, and their bodies are in ecstasy. Pulaki Kritanga. When they together relish the Bartur Mita Su Yashasa. That means when the devotees discuss with each other, and when they discuss the topics of the Lord, Bartur Mita, when they relish the exploits of the Lord, they have ecstatic tears, and their bodies are in ecstasy. So such the people who reach that abode are explained here. So here we'll discuss briefly. Yad Vaikuntam Yacha Nosmakam Uparistitam Vrajanti Naha Sprihaniya Sheela Itiva. The vaikuntha which is situated asmakam uparisitam, which is situated beyond us, which is situated even beyond us, and the situated is beyond us, and nahas prahaniya shila itiva. Those who reach that vaikuntha, their behavior is aspired by us. That we aspire for the behavior of such devotees who reach vaikuntha. Dure yamo yesham te siddhatvena दूरीकृत यमनियमाः santo va vrajanti iti. So dure yamo, it can refer to, one meaning of the word dure yamo is that those who have gone beyond the jurisdiction of the Yamaraj. Or another meaning is that those who have gone beyond all the rules, yama and niyama. Yama refers to the do's. Those who have gone beyond all the rules and regulations. Duri krita yama niyamaha santo va vrajanti. Such people reach Vaikuntha. Bartur mita suyashasaha ityanena tata vidaya bhakter moksha sukha tiraskaritva prasiddhihi suchita. So the main purpose of this anuccheda is that Vaikuntha is attained by that bhakti by which one belittles even the moksha sukha. Where is this particular point indicated in the shloka? So that is indicated in this particular word. Bartur mita su yashasaha. Together they relish the exploits of the glorious Lord. Indicates the well-known truth that devotion of this kind surpasses even the bliss of liberation. And this is also indicated in other shlokas. Two more shlokas are quoted from the same section. Natyantikam viganayantyapi ityadau, one shloka. And then Yenga twadangri sharana bhavata kataya kirtanya tirtha yashasa kushala rasagnya. Iti sanakad yuktehe. The four Kumaras, they, after realizing their offense, after realizing their mistake, they offer beautiful prayers to Lord Vishnu. They were impersonalists before, and then they are attracted with the personality of God, and they offer prayers. In those prayers also it is mentioned that those who have taken shelter of your lotus feet, who are expert in speaking you, whose glories are purifying and worshipable, and who have experienced the sweet taste of devotion, have no regard for liberation. Have no regard for liberation. Na atyantikam viganayantyapi. So this is also confirmed in another shloka. So the Sri Brahma Devan, the verses in the Anuccheda are spoken by Brahma to the Devatas. So I'll just briefly go through the commentary of this and then we'll end. So Brahman is eternal and can be attained only by those who are freed from the gunas of nature. So the bliss of Vaikuntha, being the abode of Bhagavan, is endowed with the transcendental potencies, is far superior to Brahmananda. So Brahmananda, the liberation in the formless Brahman is mere oneness but devoid of variety. So in that state of Brahmananda, one does not experience any material miseries. One remains in a passive state. So the material ego is dissolved, but one does not experience the transcendental happiness in relation with the personality of God. So liberation in Brahman basically refers to the 0 point of the material being. No more material miseries, but one does not have positive experience of the spiritual bliss. 0 point of material being. So it is uniformity of being only, thus it is but the outer glow of non-dual or transcendental being. So in this one cannot taste the positive bliss of serving the Supreme Person. Whereas in Vaikuntha, the internal energy endows a devotee with a spiritual body, and there is a particular relationship with the Lord, and the devotee loves and serves the Lord. And then there is so many exchanges between the Lord and the devotees. And this state is attained only by pure devotional service. So further, Jiva Goswami is quoting 2 shlokas spoken by Brahma to the Devatas. So Brahma says that Vaikuntha cannot be reached by those who are immersed in the worthless topics. Kukata, matigni, worthless topics which are not concerned with the real. Such worthless topics, yastu shruta hatabagir nribir atta saram, it robs a person of all piety because they are not in connection with the Lord's pastimes. Whereas Lord's pastimes are Shinvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana. They are purifying. But materialistic people think of the Lord's pastimes as a waste of time. Because Kukata Matigni, they have lost their intelligence because of hearing Kukata, topics of sense pleasure. So they are drawn primarily to topics concerning sexual attraction, and that this leads to Tamodwaram Yoshitam Sangi Sangam. It leads to regions of darkness and ignorance. So Narada Muni also condemns such topics. Nayat vachas chitra padam harer yasho jagat pavitram pragranita karhichit tad vayasam tirtha mushanti manasa nayatra hamsa niramanti ushikshaya. So the topics which do not contain the glories of the Lord, they are relished by people. They are relished by, they are like a place of pilgrimage for the crows. And Jiva Goswami comments on one important, interesting comment on the word agabit. The word agabit comes in the second shloka. No, the first shloka. Yenna vrajant agabido. Aga refers to sin. Agasura means one who is a personification of sin. So Aga refers to sin. It can also refer to the Agasura. So Agabit refers to the destroyer of the Agasura, the killer of Agasura. So Agabit can refer to Krishna himself. So that means when pastimes such as Krishna's killing demon Agasur are faithfully heard, all sins are dispelled from the heart. So Jiva Goswami is implying that hearing Krishna's pastimes is more purifying than hearing all of his other avatars. But still, unfortunate people do not take interest in hearing them, even after achieving such a rare human form. Therefore, Kapila Dev laments for such atmas. Kapila Dev also says that Nunam Daivena Vigata Yecha Chuta Kata Sudam Hitva Shinvant Asadgata Purisham Iva Vidbujah. Those who reject the nectar of the Lord's pastimes, they are compared to the stool-eating hogs. Those who reject Krishna Katha and hear the temporary topics, temporary matters, they are compared to the stool-eating hogs. And so the second shloka which is quoted, Brahma says that those who are absorbed in hearing and chanting about the Lord, they are described as Dure Yama. They are beyond the jurisdiction of Yamaraj. And here Brahma says that even I desire to follow in the footsteps of such people. Sprihaniya Sheela. And Vishwanath Chakravarti, only such people alone have the eligibility to enter Vaikuntha. But Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in the Sarada Darshini, he mentions that sometimes there are certain accounts in the Puranas in which certain asuras enter Vaikuntha. But these asuras temporarily enter Vaikuntha. These asuras they do not experience the Vaikuntha's transcendental qualities. So because they don't experience Vaikuntha's transcendental qualities, they are going to Vaikuntha is equivalent to not going. So then why do these asuras enter Vaikuntha? Sometimes the Supreme Lord, in order to give some amusement, in order to give some new experience to the people of Vaikuntha, Krishna allows certain asura to enter Vaikuntha. Just like sometimes a king allows a tamed tiger decorated with various gems to enter into the assembly hall for entertainment. So similarly, the Lord allows certain asuras or material objects influenced by the gunas to enter, to be brought to Vaikuntha temporarily. So in that way, only Bhrigumuni could enter Vaikuntha, or the four Kumaras could enter Vaikuntha. But they were not qualified to stay in Vaikuntha, they were sent back immediately. Whereas the Lord's devotees are taken to Vaikuntha and enjoy eternally residence over there. And the Narada Pancharatra also, Brahmaji says a shloka that Lokam Vaikunta Namanam Dviya Shadguna Samyutam Avaishnavanam Aprapyam Gunatraya Vivarjitam. The world called Vaikunta is replete with the 6 types of opulence and divide of 3 gunas. It can never be attained by non-devotees. Avaishnavanam Aprapyam Gunatraya Vivarjitam. It is very clearly mentioned. So therefore, because devotees derive so much of bliss from the hearing Krishna Katha mutually, they frown the so-called bliss of liberation in Brahman. And this was directly confirmed by the Kumaras. The Kumaras, after experiencing the Vaikuntha and after experiencing the dealings between the Lord and the devotees, the Kumaras, when they realized the personal form of the Lord, they spoke the shloka. Natyantikam Viganayanti. That shloka is also quoted by Jiva Goswami. So they realized the taste of Harikatha is superior to Brahmananda. So previously they were absorbed in Brahman, and then they spoke directly from their experience that those who are absorbed in Krishna Katha, they deride even the bliss of liberation. They have no regard for liberation. And even Shukadev Goswami in the second canto beginning, Shukadev Goswami says that Prayena Munayo Rajan Nivritta Vidishedataha Nairgunyastha Ramantesma Gunanu Katane Hare. Generally, even the topmost transcendentalists who are beyond all the rules and regulations, they take pleasure in recounting the attributes of the Lord. And then he gives his own example. I was also situated in a state of liberation beyond the gunas, but my heart was attracted by the pastimes of the Lord. I am the proof that the pastimes of the Lord are sweeter than the bliss of liberation. So therefore, Jiva Goswami concludes that the bliss of devotion is superior to that of the impersonal liberation. So Vaikuntha can be attained only through such devotion. In this way, the 8th characteristics of Vaikuntha is also completed in this anuccheda. We'll go through the 9th characteristic in the next class. Any questions on this? So today we covered 5 anucchedas almost, 64 to 68.
Prabhuji, what is that shloka where he got attracted? Shukdev Goswami. Which was that?
Parinishtopi Nairgunya Uttama Shloka Leelaya Grihita Cheta Rajarshe Akhyanam Yad Aditavan 2.1.9. is there in the screen. Okay.
Prabhuji, that Ahobakiyam like that, there's another one, no? That one I was asking for. There are two shlokas, no? Uh, wherein that attraction flows of Shukdev Goswami, that.
That is Ahobakiyam shloka. Another shloka is mentioned three shlokas. Another shloka is Bhishma Dev explains in the first canto, 9th chapter, how Krishna is acting as a friend, chariot driver, messenger of the Pandavas. That shloka. The third shloka is Barha Pidam Natavara Vapu Karnayo Karnikaram. Description of Krishna as a wonderful dancer in the Venu Gita chapter. There's no exact pramana for this. Some Vaishnavas say that Shukadeva Goswami, when he heard these three shlokas chanted by the disciples of Vyasadeva, he became attracted to Bhagavatam. And then he came to his father Vyasadeva to study the entire Bhagavatam.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay. Okay, we'll stop here.